Okay, good morning everybody, or afternoon, depending on which group this is. This is your teacher absent, but maybe they're in spirit. Sometimes you will find that I do this, and hopefully it'll work pretty well. If you could, go ahead and get your journals out. At this point, you should be in your assigned seat. I apologize for not being there today, but Miss Evans will do wonderfully in my absence. I'm attending my grandma's 100th birthday party, so that's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. So I think we'll try to make do and see if we can still get something accomplished even though I'm not there. So if you've got your journal, you're in your assigned seat. Again, 3 things I really want you to put down each time. First of all, put it on the same page as the one from Friday. Just put it right below it. So if you've got journal 1 and the date, then just right below that you had an answer. Put number 2 and the new date. This question, it says, state 2 things you remember or perhaps learned from doing the cup grabby activity last time. A couple things that you maybe took away from that, or whether enjoyed or hated, or something maybe you learned out of that activity. And then number 2, on a scale from 0 to 5, 0 being very little and 5 being a lot, how well do you feel you understand the scientific method? This is something that you probably have heard about since elementary. I don't feel like I want to spend a long time on it, so we're going to kind of brush up on it a little bit today, but I want you to put down 0 to 5, how well you think you understand it as of right now. If you need to pause this while people are finishing answering things, and then we'll be ready to go. Okay, so whatever you've got in the way of notes, I know one class I think already started, so we'll catch you guys up to them. But whatever you plan to take notes with, great. The only thing I ask is do not put these notes on your journal pages, okay? Because eventually you're going to turn your journal in. I don't want your notes. You need to keep those for the rest of the year. So put these notes on totally separate pages compared to your journal pages. All right, let's get going. Now again, if you need to pause me at any time so you can catch up, great. All right, so number 1, first thing I would write down is chapter 1 notes, something to identify that. And the way we start off most science classes is by defining the word. I like this definition because of this word right there, investigate. Okay, we're investigating. I always wanted to be a detective. I like solving problems, trying to search for answers, as I think as one of the classes said. That's what an investigator does. They look for truth. They're looking for answers. We're deciphering clues. Okay, we're trying to figure something out this year. What are we trying to figure out? Well, that's this. Now, science is cool because it's a really broad topic, and it's way too big for us to handle. So we need to break this into smaller pieces. And if we break apart biology, we have the oligos, which is Latin for study, the study of. Okay, so we've got different kinds of parts of science: geology, physiology, paleontology, ecology. Now, not all of them are ologies. We've got chemistry. We don't have chemology. But means study of. And then what does this part mean? Somebody in the second row. I don't know. Okay, hopefully you said life. Okay, maybe somebody who wasn't in the second row shouted that out. Okay, I don't know. Maybe it was, I don't know, it could have been Adam. Maybe it was Rachel. Or maybe, I don't know, could have been Sammy. All right, so somebody in the second row hopefully said life. And you probably already knew that before you got here. That's okay. But there's a whole bunch of other stuff we're not going to talk about. We're not going to talk about space. We're not going to talk about laws of motion. We're not going to talk about electricity. We're not going to talk about how we solve crimes with blood splatter. All right, well, that's forensics. Okay, but we are going to study about things pertaining to life. All right, well, let's go a little farther. Today, you're going to get some focus on observations. Observations can be defined as gathering information using your 5 senses. Okay, I want either, depends on the class, but I want either Caitlin or Mariah or Jacob to give me an answer here. Okay, one of those 3 people. What are your 5 senses? Go. Yeah. Yep. Maybe. Have you said all 5? I don't know. Okay, so all 5. Let's go through it. Sight. Sound. Taste. Smell. Touch. Okay. Sight, sound, taste, smell, touch. Maybe you said vision, or maybe you said hearing. Okay, but those are the big 5. Now, those are the 5 that are the main ones. Now, you also have like a sense of temperature. Okay, you have a sense of pain. We don't really talk about those too much, but these are the main ways you gather information about the world around you. You can tell you're sitting in a chair. You can tell that there's some image upon here on the screen. You can tell that there's sound waves going through the air to hit your ears. Okay, these are all things that you're gathering information about. There are 2 kinds of observations. 2 kinds. And I bet Mr. Swihart didn't go over this, so this may be brand new. So make sure you're writing all this down. Number 1, qualitative. Qualitative observations describe the qualities or the characteristics of something you observe using your senses. This is something you have to be able to physically observe. See, hear, taste, touch, or smell. Qualitative, the qualities. Quality, I hear that word in that first part of the word. Qualities. Describe the qualities of something. Okay. For example, the table. The table that you are sitting at. It is very hard. Ow, that actually hurt, okay? The table is hard. The table is cold. The tabletop is smooth. The tabletop is black. All right, the tabletop is not making any sound. The tabletop tastes nasty. No, don't taste it. Don't even think about it, okay? Those are the sorts of things you use your senses for. qualities. I could have said the tabletop is old. Now, is that necessarily true? Is that a direct observation? We'll come back to that. Age is got a little question. Okay. Take a look at this one. So that's qualitative. If you're describing the qualities of something, that's what you're doing. The second thing is quantitative. And when I say that word, I hear a word inside that word. What do you guys hear? Quantitative. Hopefully, you hear the word quantity. What's a quantity? I don't know, Mr. Bryan. A quantity is how much of something there is. A measurement. Some sort of numerical information. All right, some sort of number. Data. I would call it data. You may call it data. I call it data. But something numerical. Something that you can measure. Now, there is a problem with this because you need a measuring device. You need a measuring device to come up with this number, this data. Could be, I'm getting the meter stick off of the board right in front of you. It could be this meter stick that I'm holding right in front of you. You can't see it, but it's right there. Okay? This meter stick can go up to 100 centimeters. So I could measure something like this table, and I can measure that it is 1.37 meters. I'm going to put the meter stick back up. Okay. 1.37 meters. Bam! A measurement. Number. Okay, it's right there. That is a quantitative observation. I had to use my senses. I had to use my sense of touch to hold the meter stick. I had to use my vision to read the measurement. Okay, so you're still using your senses. I can directly measure that. That's a different kind of observing than just qualitative. Okay. Here's where it gets really kind of interesting. Inferences, letter B. This is not observing anymore. Inferences, an explanation. Another way of saying it, this is the why. This is a reason why. A possible explanation for what has been observed. It's the because. Okay, something, something, something because. That's an inference. Now, the cool thing about inferences is it's possible. A lot of times, they're not true. Many times, they're not correct. But they do explain the observation. We'll do some practice here in a little bit. But these are things that you cannot directly observe. I'm going to put that down. Cannot directly observe. In other words, I cannot see it, hear it, taste it, touch it, smell it. I can't do anything with my senses. But I'm trying to explain what has been observed. So make sure you get that difference down. Observations are things you can directly sense. Inferences are things that you cannot directly sense. Now the cool thing about this, where we're going with this, is right here. Inferences can lead to hypotheses which can be tested. Inferences lead to hypotheses. So I could say, I believe, or I think, but until I can actually test that idea, it's not a hypothesis yet. All right, let's do some practice with this. Let's do some practice. Okay, now Miss Evans, you can pause this as you need to. But here's an example. Let's say I'm walking into school and I observe with my senses the grass on the school's front lawn is wet. Maybe I didn't obey the rules and I walked through the grass instead of the sidewalk. And I noticed, grass is wet today. Now that's an observation, a qualitative observation. I didn't give any number. There's no number there. Okay? It's qualitative observation. Now, what I want you to do, either individually, as a group, as a class, however Miss Evan wants to do it, I want you to give me some inferences. What are some inferences? What are some explanations to explain that? What could be some possible explanations for the grass is wet? All right, pause me, then continue. Okay, hopefully you got some good ideas. Here's a couple I thought of. It rained. Very possible. Weather in Ohio's unpredictable. Okay, sometimes it's sunny, and then an hour later we got a huge thunderstorm. Okay, that's sometimes weird. It could have rained. Maybe the sprinkler was on. I don't know if we have a sprinkler system. I don't really know. But that would explain why the grass is wet. Maybe it was foggy. Maybe there was a heavy dew on the grass from the morning. Sure, all of us have seen that. It had been real foggy. That would leave a certain amount of water on the ground. Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did any of you say that? Okay, maybe not. Maybe I'm just weird. A dog urinated on the grass? I didn't even say it was water. Did I say it was water? No. You inferred that. You inferred it was water. Maybe it wasn't water. And all I said was it's wet. Okay, so I don't know which one's right. I don't know. I wasn't there. Okay, all I know, I observed the grass being wet. Maybe somebody dumped their drink out. Dumped a can of pop. I don't know. Okay, let's try another one. There we go. We got that. We got that. Another example. Now we're starting to get the hang of it. Observation. The school's fire alarm is going off. Pause. Okay, did you get a chance to talk about it? Okay. Some of the ideas I came up with. The school is on fire. Okay, that's novel. All right, that's possible. Unlikely, but it's possible. So if I hear the school fire alarm coming off, sure, that could be what some people are going to think. That would explain the alarm. 2, we are having a fire drill. We've all done those before. We all expect to do those every now and then. That's a logical inference. Okay? 3, a student, doggone them, pulled the alarm. Okay? That has happened before, or maybe accidentally pulled it, or accidentally hit it in the gym with a ball. That's happened. Okay, so all of these, maybe you came up with it's malfunctioning. They're testing it. They're working on it. They're installing something new. Okay, there's all sorts of inferences that would explain why we're hearing a fire alarm. Which one's right? I don't know. That's not really what's important. Inferences are explanations that are possible. All right, go for it. Pause me. Okay, we've all seen this. Hopefully you're not the student, okay? But student is sitting in the main office. Inferences. Let's see. Did you come up with? They're sick. They're sick. They're waiting to be picked up to go home. That's possible. They're in trouble. Needing to see the principal. That's very possible. We've all seen that before. Oh, what about that one? They're an office aide. Maybe they're not in trouble at all. Maybe they're not sick at all. Maybe they're waiting for work to be done. Okay, so maybe they're supposed to be in there. Or maybe they're somehow an employee or related to an employee. Miss Faust, Cindy's daughters sometimes come in and help her out. So there's all sorts of possible inferences that would explain why someone is in the office besides just this. I think we infer many times they're in trouble, especially if it's like, I don't know, Dalton or somebody else. I don't know who else may get into trouble more. I have no idea. Maybe it's Caleb. All right, let's try a couple more. Is this the picture? Yeah, I think it is. All right, so when I show you this picture, either as a group, as a class, I want you to do some practice here. This is your chance. Qualitative observing. Qualitative. Oops. Okay, let's take a look. Qualitative. Now don't give me inferences. Don't give me inferences. I don't want to know why the board is broken. Okay, that's an inference. An observation is something you can directly see, hear, taste, touch, or smell. Well, the only thing you can really do on this is see. So what are some things you can directly see? Pause. Okay. Things that I might have come up with. I see that he's wearing something white on his arm. Now, you might have said that there's a bandage on his arm, but I can't really tell that. There's just something white on his arm. I see that he's kind of smirking. Smile. I don't know if that's quite a smile, but kind of a smirk. I see that he's looking at a broken surfboard. Okay. That's about all I can really tell. Now, maybe you can come up with some other things. I guess I'm actually inferring it's a surfboard. If I've never seen one, I wouldn't know that. So I'm inferring that there's a surfboard there that's been broken. Okay? Now, I think most of you, as soon as I showed you that picture, you're such good scientists. You instinctively inferred several different things. One, you inferred that he was the victim of a shark attack. Maybe. We weren't there. You inferred he got injured. You inferred that he's thinking about, wow, I am so lucky to have survived. Okay, or something along those lines. But you inferred all these different things because of your evidence. Well, there's a broken board. It looks like teeth marks. It's semicircular. Okay, we've heard of surfers getting attacked by sharks. Do you know why surfers sometimes are attacked? Anybody have an idea? Go ahead and shout it out. I don't know. I can't hear anybody, but maybe Miss Evans, you can write down if who came up with some answers. But many times surfers are mistaken as a shark's favorite food. If you don't know a shark's favorite food, it's a seal. And if you think about a surfer, let's imagine a surfer, and I'm a shark, and I'm kind of looking up from underneath. All I see is a silhouette. Okay, I see a dark object with legs kind of hanging off the board, and maybe even, you can tell I'm an awesome artist, okay? Arms that are reaching out and paddling. They're going to be moving. So from underneath, a surfer on a board paddling out in the ocean looks an awful lot like a seal. And so this here was a nibble. It was a test nibble. Many times sharks will just bump. They'll bump the surfer, take a little bite, and maybe the surfer will lose an arm or a leg. But many times they won't actually get killed. Very few surfers actually get killed by shark attacks. But yeah, that's actually a test nibble. And then it doesn't taste right. Sharks don't like the taste of humans, mostly. Okay, and so they'll actually not come back for more unless there's a blood feeding frenzy. Okay, anyway, let's try another one. Quantitative. Ooh, this is different. What are we looking for? Numbers. Some sort of numerical information. Numerical information. Numerical information. What the is that? Okay, well, take a stab at it. Give me some quantitative observations. Go. Okay, I don't know if you paused it or not, but that's okay. All right, so, yeah, quantitative, hopefully you could tell. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 animals? Yeah, maybe, I don't know. 6 objects, 6 animals in that picture. 3 of them are green. 3 of them are brown. Those are all important details. Okay, anything else quantitatively that you can tell? If I had a ruler or something, I could measure that they are, I don't know, 6 inches long. They have tails that are half their body width. Well, maybe not. Almost half their body length. Okay. I don't know. There's a couple details there. Numerical informations. Inferences. Practice a couple inferences. Go. Okay. Inferences I could have come up with. They're radioactive. Maybe they got dipped in green paint. Maybe they're the product of some sort of crazy scientist's experiments. I don't know. The real answer? They've had a jellyfish gene inserted into their DNA so that under black light they bioluminesce, which means they basically reflect back the light. Whoa. That's actually the real answer. These mice have been genetically engineered to be part jellyfish. And so they're giving off light that's reflected from the black light. They would only appear green under ultraviolet light. And that's actually something we'll talk about. Why would we do that again? But yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later in the year. Okay. We'll see if we have time for this. But I'll leave a link here, Miss Evans. I'll try to put a link on the file on the desktop, and maybe you can click on that for you to watch that. But while you're doing that, think of some qualitative and some quantitative observations. You may or may not have time to do that later anyway. All right, last bit of practice. Kind of mentally think observations, and then come up with a couple inferences. Okay, and you can pause the video for class discussion as you need to. Okay, here we go. A couple observations. Qualitative, quantitative, inferences. Okay. Same thing. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. Qualitative observation. Quantitative observation. Inferences. Last one. Whoa. All right. Qualitative observation. Quantitative observation. Inference. Okay. And if you're curious, I don't know what the real answers on these are. I do know this one was on a website talking about construction that was going on, and then the tide came in. It didn't actually sink. Some of you may have inferred it sunk into whatever that is, but it's actually the edge of an ocean. The tide came in and ruined that piece of equipment. Okay. The rest of today depends on how much time you got. You're going to get a worksheet, do some practice on. Should be pretty self-explanatory, but you're practicing the qualitative, quantitative, and inferencing. There's several practice problems. You can work on these on your own or with a partner. Depends on however you want to do it in class. These are due. I don't think you'll probably get them finished today, but these are due either before you leave or on Wednesday. Okay, so if you walk in on Wednesday, you should have them ready to discuss. Okay? All right. Hope you had a good day, and I will see you next time. Thank you.